No, I appreciate you being so honest about it, because I think the worry point, and especially what you raised, this idea that as humans, we judge ourselves so much, but there's probably no role that we judge ourselves in as much as being a parent, because you can almost really see how this innocent, beautiful being is taking on so much of your energy, your words, your behavior, the environment. And I think that almost makes us so mindful and thoughtful, because with our partners, with our parents, we can, we can kind of be a bit lax, and
of course,
sometimes we can say things we don't mean or whatever. But when you're with a child, it's almost like you realize how precious they are, and how those exchanges are. And it's so interesting what you're saying, this idea of self-judgment. And it's fascinating, because I've met people who've said, my parents were always around and gosh, it was really, really hard. And then I meet other people who say, my parents were never around and it was really, really hard. And then you hear, my parents forced me to study this and I don't like them for it. And then someone says, my parents forced me to study this and I love them for it. And it's almost like you kind of look at that and you go, well, how do you win?
You don't, though. That's the thing, because human beings are hard. What we don't realize is our parents are also just what we were discussing, giant babies, So we're all figuring, I know I'm a mother right now, and it's not like I've got it all figured out. And I have, by all figured out, I mean, it's not like, I have all the answers to life, for every particular issue. Most definitely do not.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for the life that we have and the comfort that we enjoy. And I'm so much more grateful after becoming a mom. It's so surprising how I think what we were talking about, what's surprising, I always found myself to be somebody who had, a decent amount of empathy, but I think the empathetic quotient just truly multiplies once you're a mom, because you picture your child in every situation. So when I look at the struggle and the suffering that there is in the world, it really makes me count my blessings and be so grateful for everything that we have in our lives, because it's hard for people in the world. And I'm always somebody who likes to believe in the good and the positivity. And I'm always trying to put out, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's going to rain because the sun can shine. That's my belief. And you only appreciate the sunshine when these are all great quotes for Instagram, but when it's real life, and you see the suffering and the struggle that some people have to go through, you really have to just take a second and be like, wow, everything's good. Just cut to a wide shot and everything is great. In fact, very often what I do, especially when I'm having a bad day, I have this little balcony at the back of my bedroom, and it's like really small. It's more like a fire exit or something, and I just go and stand there, and I can see because in Bombay, a lot of the buildings, especially where I live, are like very close together. So this might sound a little creepy, but when I go and stand there, I just have like a wide view of activity in different people's homes. Somebody's walking with some clothes, somebody's watching television. I'm not looking into their bedrooms, but it just gives me a sense of life existing whilst yours is. And it just puts a lot of things into perspective, because you're so used to thinking about your life like this, like this is my moment and my this and that. And when you just cut and you think about it on a larger scale, all the worry just disappears.
Yeah.
And you take a second and you just feel very grateful for where you are in life.
Yeah. I could tell how much that was.
Yeah.
You look on the verge of tears.
I mean, that's what I'm saying when I talk about it, because that's how much maybe internal worry I have. Just as a person, for people in the world, and also for most importantly for my loved ones and for my daughter. But that's how my world has opened up, I think, post being a mom.
Yeah.
Way more aware about the other life that exists as opposed to your own.